Okay, so let's go ahead and compare the chicom, the Aliexpress version to the real one when it comes to Safariland holsters. Now, quick aside, this is an SLS and ALS holster. Well, this is simply an SLS. What's funny is that they did actually mock up an ALS system inside. You can see there, that's clearly what that's for, although it's not an ALS. So there are going to be slight differences between these holsters, obviously just simply because of their design. However, this is to compare them so you can see what you'd be getting if you go ahead and order an awesome AliExpress holster. So about 18 bucks shipped. Took about, I don't know, 25 days, something like that to get here. It does come with the same cant, as you can see, the belt right there. Let's start at the top. So, to begin with, this is a little bit less robust, and it's actually like, has like a little crease in it. There. So you can see that. The locking system is a little tighter, but that's to be expected out of a newer product. They did copy everything right down to the texturing on the grip here for your thumb. However, the texturing is much deeper on the actual Safariland product versus the Aliexpress. The Aliexpress is also shiny. However, this has been painted, of course. Snaps back on there. This has got obviously more of a positive retention snap to it, where this is more of a clack. This piece is definitely like a rubberized piece. Obviously, this is like a rubberized plastic too, but this definitely smells like, I don't know, it's very, very rubbery. So you can go ahead and push down, it's very mushy. You can do the same on the Safariland, although again, the Safariland is used. You don't have the adjustment screw for the ALS here, or the screw to mount it. There is a little bit of play here, where there's not that play on the Safariland. Yeah, you can bend this little strap you do, but it doesn't actually have physical movement play. I'm wondering if that's, I feel like it's in there pretty decent. So it's very clear they made like a polymer mold of the gun and then put that in there. Again, you see they mocked up the ALS system. And then the front here, I've taken my light plug out because number one, I want to know if my light's running, and number two, I want it to be able to have debris clearance down the front. And this one, there is no option to remove it. It's just a solid piece. Probably keeps the cost down. Over here in La La Land, we can see the retention mechanisms. They are pretty darn similar. This one is a little screw down there. Yeah, so they both have a little screw. It's hard to see. Down there. Down there. This one is almost to the edge of the material though, which is a little shiesty, but whatever. As you can see, the height is almost the same. It's a little bit taller on the actual Safariland. So if we, just a hair taller. So let's take a look at the back panel. So the the mid-ride or whatever it is height Safariland has is much less deep. It's much more vacuum formed here, where this looks more like a piece of plastic that's just, you know, heated up and all that. There is texturing where there's not on the Safariland. It doesn't really matter either way. There's texturing on the outside. Obviously, the Safariland texturing on the outside is Kydex, so it is what it is. And you can see that with the knockoff holster, they put these big spacers in here because overall the holster is thinner than the actual Safariland. And then so they also pushed deeper into this. As you can see, there's these, I hate to use the word peg, but you know, whatever, that come out to attach to the Safariland itself, and well, to the knockoff of the Safariland itself is basically flush against there. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and pop this off, and we'll take a look. Again, this uses an Allen wrench. These use actual Phillips head screws and looks like washers. So I'll go ahead and take a look at that. First of all, let's take a look at the fit. So in this Safariland, it will take up to my Nightcore NPL30, which is awesome, which is exactly what I want it for. It will, of course, take the Enforce APL because it's much smaller than the Nightcore. This will also take it. So that's excellent. That's exactly what I wanted it for. And so we'll also take the Enforce APL as well, because again, it is much smaller. So this is exactly what I wanted it for. If it worked for my Canic, I would be over the moon. But this is strictly a Glock holster, so I'm not too worried about it. Again, the retention is actually pretty decent with the light on there. And you do have your standard SLS little pop and lock action there. Not the fastest draw so far yet, but it also needs to be broken in. So let's go ahead and I'll take the back plates off, and we'll see about putting on a QLS system, also from Aliexpress. We'll see what they have to say about that. Okay, so now that we've gotten these apart, let's go ahead and examine the little belt right here. As you can see, the Aliexpress one is much more, it looks like a dick. I mean, there's not really any way to put it. This is a cock and balls. Safariland does too, but obviously the Aliexpress dong is a little bit bigger. Again, disgusting. Anyways, so you can see obviously that it sticks out much more than the actual Safariland. The screws that they use, Safariland is the bigger one, and then the Aliexpress is a screw with like a built-in washer, kind of, it's got a bigger head to it, which is okay. So as you see, they're both pretty short, but they don't need to be super long to get back into that plastic. So these, I pretty much call this a wash either way. I'm not upset with either one of them. I will be going ahead and mounting a QLS on there shortly, and we'll go from there. So that's those. Now if we go back to back of the holster, we see that with the Safariland, they do have the threaded portion sticking out of the Kydex, and allowing you to go ahead and thread your belt right in there, your QLS. With these, they are threaded as well. Internally, they have a little brass insert. However, they are threaded into sort of these pre-established sort of fitment areas, where these are sort of almost like done by hand on the Safariland. Obviously, this says Glock D on the side, which will stand for Glock Diesel. And then obviously on the Safariland, you've got all the 63, 68, 32, Glock 1722, IT, M3 Light, 20, assembled in Mexico. There is no tension adjustment on the non-Safariland, which would be right there. Because again, it does have one layer. It doesn't have two layers of what the Kydex there that the other one would have. Oh yeah. So that's what's flopping here. Is that the hood? Yeah. So a little bit of hood flop there. Hood flop there. My new album title, Hood Flop. All right, so that's pretty much that there. Again, this is one piece body. Well, it's obviously two pieces, but stuck together. Actually, the plastic feels really, really firm on this. Firm. Also, you can see the same screws were used to attach the hood. So if you want to remove it on both of them, you can. And then this is sort of a, I don't know what kind of screw that is. Allen head screw of some variety, where this is actually just a rivet. So they just sunk that in there and then pounded it in. So good for them. But yeah, a lot more flop and flex on this. This one's a lot sturdier. So, but yeah, overall it seems a little bit smaller because again, you're just going right for the ALS, or the SLS, not the ALS. So we'll go ahead and we'll put a QLS on there. We'll see how that works. Alright, so we've gone ahead and installed the QLS adapters. Very, very chunky boys. So they work out just fine so far. The screws on a couple of these did not want to go all the way in. These are the slide screws, and they strip extremely easy. The heads are very, very soft. So just be aware of that when you're going to go ahead and screw those in there. But other than that, everything works out pretty well. This one is a little bit different. The simple fact that this rivet here that they pop out catches up against this. So I had to do a shitty hack job. So that rivet right there, when you press in the QLS fork to the female side, it bumps into it right there. So basically just did a real shitty knife job and cut that part down, allowing this to go ahead and lock into place. So I will probably be replacing the QLSs at some point in time. The plastic is very soft. I don't know if they'll hold up to long-term use. This is obviously going to be the testing phase and see what we get on that. So that'll be kind of cool. But so far, so good. I mean, for 18 bucks, I can't say no to the purchase itself. And the QLS, I think was $1 shipped. And then I got a second one for like $5. So, I mean, are they ideal? No. But they do lock into place, just like they should there. Or do they? Yeah, so no. So what I'm going to do is I should cut a little bit more of this off to get this one fork to lock in. Because this fork will do it. This fork will not. So, yeah, another just knife job on that. Other than that, pretty much all I have there. You guys don't need to see me hacking away at this thing. But, yeah, so I will probably replace the QLSs just because I don't like that softer plastic. I know that I will have to probably hack up whatever I get because of that piece there. But, you know, it is what it is at this point. And yeah, so I'll let you guys go. Thanks for checking out the video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's all I got for you today. See ya.